In this video, we're going to learn about variables. So what is variables? Think of a variable as a labeled container that stores information. Variables are essentially human-friendly names that represent data stored in memory. So instead of working directly with raw data like numbers, strings, or complex objects, variables give us an easy way to refer to that data. So in other words, instead of remembering, the numbers or IP addresses, we can actually assign that IP address to a variable that easy to remember and easy to understand. So that's one of the reasons why we need to understand variables in Python. So there are a few variable naming conventions that we should keep in mind. So we should use descriptive and meaningful names. So instead of using X, we should use device IP. So device IP, device underscore IP. And variable name should be lowercase with words separated by underscores. So snake case, that's what we call it. And we should avoid starting the variable names with numbers or using special characters. So for example, the dollar sign and the percentage sign. And we should not use reserved keywords like def, which stands for define, class, etc. And we should stick to clear and consistent naming styles for readability. Okay, so how do we create a variable? Creating a variable means assigning a value to a name. It's like adding a label tool to your toolbox. So this is how we store a data to a variable or value to a variable. So let me go ahead and get into the IPython interpreter. So here we are just assigning this string into a variable called device IP. Copy and paste that code. Same here, switch one, assigning that string to a variable called hostname. And we can now use an f string to basically to print the value of the variable hostname and the value of the device IP. So if I copy and paste this line of code, so we see the hostname, which is switch one, and the IP address. This. Okay, so how do we read a variable? Reading a variable means accessing its value. So, and we actually just did that from here. Using this print statement, but for completion's sake, I'm just showing you, these line of codes to read stored information. Okay, so let me just copy and paste this line of code. So we should see the device IP, the value of the device IP and the value of the host name. Okay, and this is how we update a variable. So updating a variable means changing its value while keeping the same name. So it's like swapping out the contents of a labeled toolbox. So for example here, originally the IP address was 192.168.1.1, and we are updating that IP address to be 1.2. In here, instead of the original value, which is switch one, we are making it router one. So again, changing its value while keeping the same name. So that's how you update variables. In here, I'm just printing out the host name and the device IP. And lastly, how do we delete variables? So when we delete variable, we remove it from memory. It's like discarding a tool that we don't need anymore. Okay, so let me just copy and paste this line of code and this line of code. So that's how you delete variables. Okay, so that's all I wanted to cover in this video. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.